Good. I'm going to call this meeting to order of the Blue River Township Advisory Board at 5:20 on August 10th, 2026. This is a budget hearing. I'm going to turn it over to our trustee, Mike Byerly, for more information.
All right, starting at the top of budget form 1. As you said, this is for our 2027 budget, but casino fund is budgeting $10,000. Rainy day fund is budgeting $30,000. Moving on to the general fund, in our personal services category, the total in that category is going to be $31,700. The supplies category is $2,400. And then we move on to the back page. Back of that page, that is. And our general fund, the total for other services and charges totals $91,600, which makes the total general fund budget $125,700. The next category or fund is our Township Assistance Fund, and the total of the Township Assistance Fund is $9,200, and of course that is all for what's considered direct assistance. The next fund is the Fire Protection General Fund. In the supplies category, the total is $7,000. And then almost everything else that we spend money on falls under other services and charges. So other services and charges totals $440,000. And then there is one line of capital outlays, which would be for something like, a piece of machinery, equipment, or any type of vehicle, and that is $75,000. So the total in the Fire Territory General Fund is $522,000. And our last fund to go over is Fire Territory Equipment Replacement Fund. Only a few categories in that. In supplies, we have $25,000. In other services and charges, we have $50,000. And then in capital outlays, the total is $300,000. So that makes the total in the Equipment Replacement Fund $350,000, which makes our entire budget total $1,046,900. And again, this is just budget appropriations, permission to spend. This is what the budget, all those numbers are. Our next page is Form 2, and those are miscellaneous, they're called non-property tax revenue estimates. So the first category or fund is the casino fund again, and everything stays status quo. The far right column showing that we will get $4,100 next calendar year. We already received it for this year. Rainy day, obviously, it'll take in no miscellaneous revenue. General fund, the first column is showing that we will still take in $38,135 through 2026. And for next year, the entire year, the estimate is $68,642. So the total next year in the general fund miscellaneous revenue is $120,359. Township assistance, there will be no miscellaneous revenue forecasted there. And then our Fire Territory General Fund, there's no estimate in there because it's kind of built into our general fund, so we've got it at zero, but we can always transfer money into that fund if we choose to. And then for the Equipment Replacement Fund, still projected $44,601 this year, and then $95,000 next year. So the total miscellaneous outstanding for this year is $100,006.1, and next year, the entire year, is estimated at $219,459. The next form is just your Form 3. That's the advertisement that get published to the taxpayers, about our hearing. Chopped it off, there's one casino funds down at the bottom. Of course, that's just showing your budget estimate of 10,000 with no levy or anything like that, because that's not a tax rate fund. On the back page, rainy day is the same. General fund, you got your budget figure in the first column. The second column is the total amount that will come from property taxes. Again, that's an estimate, but it's going to be pretty close. So 23,977 would be the levy in our general fund. The current levy right now is 25,369. It's lower because when you look at the next fund, Township Assistance, we're going to collect $3,000 in property tax to go in there, but current levy is zero. So by doing that, it lowers what's going into the general fund. Fire protection general fund, it's projected that that levy will be $362,060, and then the equipment replacement fund is $197,766. So those are the estimated property tax figures. Any questions on that? Of course, our Form 4, that's just a copy of the resolution that you have to adopt if approved, but that's at our next meeting. All the figures on there are the same as we've just discussed. The last sheets are what they call budget form 4B. And our casino came out first as far as how it printed, but the top half is for the July through December of this year. It's showing your cash balance, how much revenue you're going to take, and then expenses based off of how much of our budget appropriations are left. The second half of the page shows all of next year. So revenue, expenses. Line 18 is an important one, about a third of the way from the bottom. That's estimating our December 31st cash balance at a negative $1,166. That's because it forecasts that we're going to spend everything in our budget for this year. So we do like we typically do and make a resolution to reduce that and get that out of the negative. Point that out, but it's not alarming when you see it, because we'll fix it. Now on rainy day, it's the exact same thing, except the number's much larger, because we budgeted $30,000 this year and we haven't spent any. And when it takes $30,000 from the current balance on top of what our budget for 27 is showing we're going to spend, it shows it's underfunded by a little over 24,000. So we'll address that as well at our next meeting too and get that all straightened up. Next one is our Township General Fund. You can follow those numbers there in line 18 again. The estimate is $204,872 is what we've been December 31st of 2027 with. So our general fund is in really good shape. Township Assistance Fund, that's see, it's showing a negative 5,200 cash balance. So again, our resolution to reduce will get all those back in the black. Next one's covering the Fire Territory General Fund. The estimate there is $135,101. I predict that will probably be pretty close by the time everything is all said and done. And then last is the Equipment Replacement Fund, showing $710,988. So pretty healthy balance. So questions or comments, or you want to go back over any of it for further explanation?
And where this is all published is just on that gateway site. We don't run it in the paper or anything anymore. I didn't think so.
No, they've done away with
That you had,
all
yeah.
the publication.
Yeah.
And then, now the only form currently on Gateway is that Form 3.
Yeah.
The notice.
Yeah.
Whatever budget gets approved
Right.
or amended or whatever, once the board does what they do, then it's officially on in the Gateway website. Yes, it'll all be public record. Questions for you, Fred?
No question.
That's all we have here for.
Yeah, we have to adjourn. I have a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All those in favor? Aye. This meeting is adjourned.